So Google has replaced Gemini CLI with Antigravity CLI. And I feel that this was a long time coming. And the moment that dropped, a lot of us had the same questions.
Is this just a rename? Same thing, new logo? How do I get all my Gemini stuff over? My extensions, my settings? Do I even need the anti-gravity app for this, or does it just work in my terminal?
Those are the real questions. So in this video, we're answering all of it. And here's a short version. It's obviously not just a rename. It's a Go rebuild that runs faster and runs async by default. How do you migrate from Gemini CLI to Antigravity CLI? They also made it pretty simple, right? It's just one command. But here's the thing. There are a bunch of genuinely interested things Antigravity CLI does that I don't think Gemini CLI had. Like all of these slash commands. So for instance, there is this slash grillme. The agent asks you questions before it writes a single line of code, so it doesn't waste 3 iterations figuring out what you actually wanted. Then there is this slash goal, which is almost the opposite, which allows the agent to have full autonomy. No question, it just ships for when you already know exactly what you want. Then there is this slash rewind, which undoes the entire agent turn, not the file, not the edit, the whole turn like it never happened. Then we have the native terminal sandbox. I think this is pretty cool. This is where the agent can run commands inside an isolated container on your machine. Your real system stays untouched. Then they also introduced parallel sub-agents. The agent can spin up at once, each with their own context, doing research and proposing in parallel. Then they have slash fork, which branches your whole conversation, some starting point to parallel paths, come back to either one at any point in time. There's also this very cool feature called slash by the way, BTW. You can talk to the agent while it's working, you can ask side questions, and you will get instant answer, and the main agent continues to work and you don't lose its place. And slash schedule, which is basically a cron but for agents, right? So wake up Monday at 8 a.m., run my weekly reports, that kind of thing. So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to build a real app. And while building the app in Antigravity CLI, you will be able to see all of these commands or most of these commands right here in the terminal. Obviously, all opinions, as always, are my own and do not belong to my employer. And before we get into this, you are on Gemini CLI today. You've got until June 18th before it stops serving requests. So this one matters. All right, let's get into it. Right, so you can see that I am in my Windows PowerShell. This is my terminal, but depending on your machine type, you can go to your own terminal. And this is the command that is required for you to install Antigravity CLI. Now I have already installed Antigravity CLI, so that's why I'm getting this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up Antigravity, which is AGY, and this is the experience that you will have, right? And then the idea here is you are able to, first of all, select different types of models. So you can see that we have Gemini 3.5 Flash, different versions. This is something that they have given over the weekend. You can also see you have 3.1 Pro, both high and low, and then also Claude, Sonnet, and Opus 4.6, right? So these are all the different models that you have available. Now, some of the things that I talked about earlier. So for example, this is the by the way BTW command, which you can see. You also have the grillme command. You also have the goal command. So this one is where you specifically know what you want to do and you just want agent to continue and build without asking you multiple times. You will be able to use goal. And then grillme is where you will be asking agent to basically work with you in terms of taking feedback and then also continuing to brainstorm with you, right? So what I'm going to do here is in this one, I'm going to get into a folder called lift, because what I want to do is actually want to build a map, right? So again, I'm going to clear it and then click on AGY, type AGY, and then I'm going to start building, right? I'm just going to type grillme and then tab, and then I'm going to give a long prompt here, right? So which I'm saying build me a single web app called lift, a workout logger, which I can run locally by opening one HTML file, no backend, no server, no Python, etc. Right? And I have also given some of the UI requirements, right? So now you can see that it is starting to ask me questions. You can see that I already had built this before the demo just to make sure everything is working fine. So it deleted that, and then now it is starting to ask questions, right? So what kind of UI that I want, a background, etc. That is the first question. Do I need some auto suggestions or previously logged exercise? That's another question. So you can see you also have the capability to write in. So it's going to ask you tons of questions. And you can see here on the screen how it is starting to ask those questions and then taking that as an input, right? So as you continue to provide answers, it is going to feed all that in its process. And then once it feels that it has enough in order to build it, it's going to start building and it's going to give you the confirmation of the implementation progress. So that's what you're seeing, what is happening on the screen. I feel grillme is a pretty effective methodology. There's another methodology called GSD, which is get shit done, right? Which is basically something similar where you're asking a ton of questions ahead of time so that you are not just depending on a plain vanilla plan, which the tool will send or the CLI will send to you, but you're actually like brainstorming with it, right? So that is what's happening right now in front of you, and it should be able to create something very interesting in a short amount of time. So I'm going to pause and then I'll come back once it has done and show you the results. So you can see that it is continuing to work at any point in time. What you can also do is you can look at the artifact. So if I click on this, it has already created the walkthrough.md as well as the implementation plan. So at any point in time, you can open it and see it. So this is pretty interesting. And you are able to see the end-to-end implementation plan. This is all in your terminal, which is very crazy. So you can do this and then press escape. You can come back and then now I'm going to look at the walkthrough as well. So it's an entire walkthrough of the application itself, real-time interactive logger and all of those things, right? So once it creates, like it will also tell you how to actually run Lyft. So in this case, I had restricted it to be just a single HTML page, which I can run locally. So that's why it is doing that. But you can see that it continues to build the app. And at any point in time, you can also go through and look at what it has created. So now it has started to actually build more and you can always like expand on it, right? So I'll again come back and show you what it has produced in a bit. I just wanted to show you the artifacts and how to view it as well. Okay, so it is asking for location preference. So I'm just going to give it as yes and just provide some approvals. Okay. Looks like it is done. So what it is saying is you can go ahead and open the index.html so we can see where it has stored. So it has stored it here. So let me go into this particular folder. Yep. So I'm in this folder and then I'm going to open Lyft, right? So this is what it has built. Pretty simple. You can actually add the exercise, whatever is the weight, and then the sets and the reps, right? So that's what you can do and it'll log the set. So very simple, exactly that I wanted is also storing the personal record, etc. It's pretty cool. Now, once it has built that, what we can do is we can actually ask for more. So for instance, like now I want to change, I want to add some more details, right? So in this one now, what I can do is I'm just going to use the goal command / command, and then I'm going to say that, hey, add a new panel below PRs called this week. And now you will see that it is not going to be asking me a ton of questions. It is just going to straight away go ahead and build that, right? So we'll give it a few seconds for it to finish that, and then we'll come back and see what it has built. But again, this is a flip side, right? No questions at all, no full autonomy. I basically tell it what I want. It just does that specific thing. Use this when you're really confident on how exactly you want it, because it's going to go ahead and complete that process, right? So that's what it's doing right now. It looks like it has completed. So let's see what it has done. So if I refresh this, here you go, right? So this is this week. This is a new thing that it has added, right? Now, if at any point in time you don't like anything, what you can do is always click on rewind. So it will ask that, hey, where do you want to rewind, right? So I'll say, okay, I just want to go back, you to go back to this particular one. So it will go back to that one, right? So it would have rewinded there. So now if I refresh this, that particular thing has gone, right? So this is the beauty now. It's like the undo button that you are seeing, right? So again, if I wanted to make any changes, I'm back here on this particular step and I'll be able to make those changes as well. So that's the anti-gravity CLI for you. You saw how you're able to use this, how you're able to install it, and then how the different commands work. Some of the things that are really cool is, as I mentioned, the goal, grillme, and the stuff where you're also able to interact with it while you are working. So for example, this, by the way, command, right? So here you can ask while it is doing something, ask a specific question, it'll answer it on the side while you continue to build this as well, right? So super cool. Go work on this as well as do workout because I built the Lift app. But do let me know your thoughts on this. It seems to be a perfectly good CLI platform for us to start building. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. And of course, if you're new here, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.